let's do a quick recap for those of you who are just joining us. SaltwaterAquarium.com has grown by leaps and bounds since it started in 2011, and we're expanding again. This time, we're moving the desks that were in the warehouse into the new 33 by 24 foot front office. The boss wanted a big boy tank and the office needed a divider wall, so the front 10 feet of the front office would be sectioned off for a new tank. The studs went up, the drywall went in, while Planet Aquariums was making us the new lobby tank. Speaking of tanks, the new tank is going to be 12 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 30 inches tall, which comes out to about 700 gallons of water volume. Now, due to space constraints, the mixing station goes under the tank to keep it out of the front office. This concludes the recap portion of this show. So now what? Well, filtration, of course. How are we going to keep the water in the Saltwater Aquarium 700 clean? The answer is something magical. Something that's going to be a breakthrough. In fact, it already was a breakthrough. When it came out, it was groundbreaking. It continues to redefine reefing to this day. It's going on the Saltwater Aquarium 700. The hang on back filter. Each of these is about 15 inches long. The saltwateraquarium.com 700 is 144 inches long. So that means we can fit 9.6 of these across the front of the saltwateraquarium.com 700. It's going to be a minimalistic build. And somehow we're going to pull off 0.6 of a hang on back filter. Be incredible. Be the most watched video series ever in the history of Saltwater Aquarium YouTube channels, period. Yeah, right. Who am I kidding? Not so much. These work great for quarantine tanks. Quick tip, you can use these for quarantine tanks. They work great. They're not going to go in the Saltwater Aquarium 700. A sump's in order for this build. Which begs the next question, filter socks or roller mat? Here's the thing. Filter socks work great. Roller mats can work okay. At the time of the filming of this video, haven't found one that's sizable that gets the job done yet. So for now, we're sticking with filter socks. Okay. What about a refugium? That's all the rage right now. Where's your refugium going to go? Not where you might think. While we could have put the refugium next to the sump, it was going to eat up too much of the front office. Therefore, the refugium was moved into the lobby. That means a display refugium in the lobby. Remember in episode 2 when I said I needed to leave room in the lobby for something else? Well, that's what I was talking about. The refugium measures 72 inches by 24 inches by 16 inches tall, which is about 120 gallons of water volume. Now, 120 gallon refugium for a 700 gallon tank, some of you might be saying, well, that seems a little bit small. Here's the thing about refugiums that a lot of hobbyists and even professionals miss. Most of the time when people think about a refugium, they say, well, how many gallons should the refugium be? It's not so much about gallons as it is about surface area. Algae mostly grows on the surface, light comes down from the surface, so the more surface area you have, the more horsepower you have for your refugium to export nutrients out of your tank. So when I think about refugiums, I'm not as concerned about overall water volume, I'm more concerned about surface area. Okay, back to the sump. The sump needs to be at working height, which is about 36 inches. That way it's easy to work on the sump, much like it's easy to work on a kitchen counter because it's at working height. The sump needs a sink right next to it, so it's easy to service the sump, anything in it, protein skimmer, filter socks, media reactors.
I called on Bashi to build a custom sump for the Saltwater Aquarium 700. I keep my sump simple, yet functional, and here's how it lays out. First is a filter sock chamber with 3 7-inch socks. Then a large open area for the Nio skimmer and Bashi media reactors. An adjustable bubble trap is next, followed by a return pump chamber for the Biz A200 return pump. Your return pump is the heartbeat of your whole system, and on the Saltwater Aquarium 700, I wanted the return pump I trusted the most, one from a Biz.
Okay, now that the filtration was all worked out, things had been on order for a bit, and then things started to arrive. That means install day